Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your SmackDown review. So it's the second show of the whole landscape changing, hashtag Raw is refresh, hashtag Raw restart, whatever you want to say. The whole game is changed now. I mean, what a beautiful example at Raw. Say you're going to change in the very next segment, you go ahead and you do the same thing you did the previous night. So, with that being, a great sign of things to come, then you already know that SmackDown was probably even better, if not the same level of quality. So Shane McMahon is getting up in front of the whole entire SmackDown locker room. And yes, this includes not only males, females, and not only baby faces, but heels, who wouldn't even give a shit what he had to say. So it was different when they did this for the WF versus, WCW angle. It made sense, when it would be like a Survivor Series team with maybe, some faces and heels being forced to work together or whatever the case may be. Okay, so Shane McMahon, it's nothing like that. He's saying we need to put on a good show for this crowd. And, okay, do you understand what the problem with that is? I know that the Dave Meltzer fart sniffers out there, I know that you guys, you're all fine and well with that, because that's all you care about is your, 7.5 star, Young Buck style matches. That's what you want to see. That's what you're perfectly comfortable and you're entertained watching. So, if that's what you're into, that's all fine and well. But I'm not. And a lot of other people and a lot of my subs are not into that shit at all. And I will guarantee you that the reason why there's not 8 million people watching this show like there used to be. And it's funny that people bring it up to me all the time. Just somebody recently in the comments. The Attitude Era is dead and gone. They always talk about, that's in the past. The thing is, why does it need to be in the past? Why should the Attitude Era be perceived as something that should nearly be kept in the past? Why should something superior be in the past? We should return to the 80s model. Why would we go back to the 80s when the 80s were a much different time? And you could come back, you could shoot right back and say that the 90s was a different time. But, sure enough, the Attitude Era, if you go back and you watch it, it still holds true. If anything, it fits in better with today's television, where things are extra raunchy, where they don't even bleep out certain curse words. I mean, imagine, okay, we all know it's the PG era and we have to live with it, but Shane McMahon is telling these wrestlers, on a TV show that they need to put on a good show. I mean, can you imagine watching an episode of, Law and Order SVU, and, somebody would have turned to, like, Christopher Maloney or Mirshka Hargitay and just says, well, guys, we need to put on a good show. So, make this a good crime case, like, the whole story in wrestling, the major premise is that the wrestlers don't have control of their fates. They don't have control of what happens to them. They wind up in stories. It's like real life. You find yourself in situations. It's like, it shouldn't be that these wrestlers, you need to wrestle harder. No, it never used to be that. It's just pretty much if you beat this wrestler, then, you're considered to be better than him. And that's what it is. So he's talking to a bunch of people, not saying that they need to, win to get to the top. It shouldn't be, who will get to the top of the mountain first. No, he's saying that you need to wrestle good matches to entertain the fans. That's never been what this is all about. This is what none of this is about. But they're changing the whole thing because they're desperate for ratings. They're trying to kiss the ass of the fans. But what we saw here is that it's just a lot of talk, just like on Raw. We saw pretty much the same show. Then Shane brings up Paige. Paige is no longer in her position anymore because I guess they're just not doing GMs. You know, he said that she'll maybe have a different title, whatever the case may be, but she won't be in charge anymore. I don't think we'll be seeing her for a while. So, you know, we put you in the ring, you know, and because of our negligence putting you in the ring with Sasha Banks, you know, who wasn't ready to be on the main roster, you know, and compete with other, you know, wrestlers on TV. You know, she wasn't ready. But, you know, we're responsible for Paige's career being ended. But you know what? See you later. It was nice knowing you. Now get out of here, kid. I mean, this is how they treat her. You know, if I were Paige, I'd turn around and I'd sue the fucking shit out of this company. I mean, honestly, putting her in the ring with somebody who basically ended her career, gave her a massive concussion, that, you know, kicking her in the back. It wasn't even like with Seth Rollins. At least he needs Cena in the face head on. You know, at least Sting knew that the buckle bomb was coming. At least, you know, Finn Balor knew that you know, the bomb into the barricade was coming. You know, at least it was head on. Not Sasha Banks kicking her in the back of the fucking head when she wasn't even ready. So, you know, but we're going to look past that, and we're going to talk about some more things because, well, there was another, you know, how would you refer to it, as like a near miss? You know, we almost had a huge, colossal tragedy in the main event of this show, and I'll be getting to that, so stay tuned later on in the video to hear my thoughts on that. Becky Lynch and Charlotte and Asuka get involved in the promo. You know, Becky wants Ronda Rousey. Does Ronda show up? Of course not. You know, why wouldn't Becky, you know, and Charlotte, why would they not want to get their revenge on Ronda Rousey, you know, on Raw? You know, instead they spent the whole hour on a gauntlet match. Well, at least they didn't have an hour of women tonight. So Naomi comes out. She says that she wants, you know, a title shot. Vince McMahon comes out. You know, he's going to try to figure out, you know, who's going to get the title shot. He's impressed with Naomi. And, you know, he just ends up having the match right there. I will say this. Having Vince out there makes something that would have basically been meaningless otherwise feel slightly more important. But, you know, he's not going to stick around for long. And, you know, this just didn't feel right. So it's like, everybody just get the hell out of the ring. Naomi is going to get her shot. What it should have been is Charlotte and Becky should have stormed the ring, beat the shit out of Naomi, and show that no one is getting the title, you know, unless them. But I guess, you know, they're just fine. They'll wait for Rousey. They're very patient, aren't they? Vince, what do we have here? There might have been something with Becky and Charlotte after that. I don't really think anything too significant, but whatever. Then we move on to Rusev, and he's cutting a promo backstage, and dear fucking God, was this cringeworthy. So, you know, to even remember what he said, I had to write it down. He talked about, you know, how he's, you know, he's manly. You know, he talks about his muscles. He talks about his beard, how you could shave it off and sell it on eBay as a sweater to babies. Then he calls Nakamurphy Sonic the Hedgehog because he's wearing blue. And he had a picture with him to just, you know, drive the point home. I mean, does anybody not see just how, like, dumb that shit he said about his beard was? And, you know, I'm sure there probably were certain people that laughed at it. I saw one person on WWE's YouTube page actually say that Rusev was channeling Shawn Michaels. And if I could play devil's advocate here and talk about that stupid comment here from that perspective of that person, probably saying that because, you know how Shawn Michaels would just get silly out of nowhere, that's probably what he meant, but at least Shawn Michaels sort of made sense when he would do one of those funny, humorous promos. Rusev at this point, well, he is not, first of all, he hasn't gotten to the level of a Shawn Michaels where he can make almost anything sound good on the mic. And second of all, you know, this was just a shitty promo. Michaels would have done it 10 times better. I mean, you know, I don't know if this was ad-libbed. I don't know if one of the brain-dead writers told him to say this. I mean, you know, I kind of don't get it. Why would they have him come out, you know, well, stay backstage and cut this promo? It just, you know, after I winced, I was like, why? What the fuck did I just listen to? The Miz knocked on Vince McMahon's dressing room door. He asked, can he have his blessing to have, you know, Shane McMahon, his tag partner. Now, obviously, this was meant as a joke, like, you know, he, like, marrying Shane, asking the father to have the blessing, you know, as the wife would. You know, and the thing was, this is just out of control, because when you think of someone the caliber of The Miz, why is he even messing around with a storyline like this? Like, what is he doing right now? He's obsessed with Shane. He wants to be Shane's tag partner. And why? I understand it's supposed to be funny, it's supposed to be a joke, and we're all supposed to, you know, hee ha ha about it. Maybe one of those, you know. But I'm kind of failing to see why we're running with the gag for so long and it's not paying off towards anything. So Vince says that he'll give Miz another tag partner and see if he can impress him. You know, why somebody who's primarily been in singles action all this time, why, you know, why would he be fine settling on you know, the tag division? Like, really? Like, is that really what they want to do with a guy? I mean, Miz and his promo skills, which they need characters. Despite what they say that, hey, you guys just want to see better matches and new faces. You know, that's all it takes, right? New faces and then better matches, new matches, right? Oh, it's a brand new day. It's a brave new world for them. And, you know, this right here, like, you know, we'll talk about it when the match comes about. First, we got Jeff Hardy coming out talking about Samoa Joe and everything. Like I said, if Joe, you know, wants to talk about self-control, he should probably talk about himself, because you could only imagine how much this guy eats around the holidays. I mean, the guy he's fucking fatter than Santa Claus himself. And you want to come out there and you want to say that, you know, jolly old Samoa Joe is in control and, you know, Jeff Hardy is just a lousy old drug addict. I mean, you know, okay, that's, you know, we get it. You know, they've driven the point home here for weeks, and, you know, I don't know what happened. You know, Joe loses all his heat, Jeff hits the twist of fate, and we move on. Anybody also find it weird that we just had a TLC pay-per-view that Jeff Hardy wasn't even on? Does anybody even, like, notice that? Like, Jeff Hardy and Samoa Joe, like, they didn't have a match at the pay-per-view after all that happened. Oh, they're going to have a match next week on the taped episode of, you know, whatever it is, the Christmas Day Smackdown. You know, I can't guarantee a review on that one, guys. I'm just going to let you know ahead of time. Christmas Day Smackdown. So we got The Miz and his mystery partner, which turned out to be Mandy Rose, which doesn't really make any sense. And, you know, they might try to go somewhere with this. And they defeat R-Truth and Carmella. Okay, so why Mandy Rose? I know McMahon likes her, and Corey Graves is about to pass out at ringside over her. She's a good-looking girl. The only problem is The Miz is married. You know, he's got Maurice. You know, why would he even want to tag with her? You know, like, unless this maybe leads to something with Mandy trying to maybe seduce The Miz. But that's not even where they went with this. You know, the Miz just kind of got the win, and that was about it. And, you know, R-Truth and Carmella, they make a point. No Jeff Hardy on the show, no Elias on the main card, no Bobby Lashley. You know, fuck those guys. Gotta have a mixed match challenge match to kick it off. You know, kick off the show on TLC. What the hell happens? The team that won, they already fucking lost. So, I mean, the Miz, who's, you know, at this point, this stage in the game, is a world title contender pretty much. I mean, you know, who comes close to cutting promos like the Miz? Basically nobody. And, you know, they just want to throw him in a random tag match. You know, I could sit here and give him the benefit of the doubt and say, oh, well, it might be leading to a storyline. But, you know, we all know that it's not. And even if it is, it's not going to be good. The Usos have a match against Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Gallows and Anderson, before the match, cut a promo. They inform us they haven't been on SmackDown since August. That's all fine and well, I guess, you know, but you know what I'm seeing here is WWE admitting to their incompetence. You know, just how incompetent they are. How can you admit that you're incompetent like this many times on a broadcast? And it's not that, you know, that's not the problem that Anderson and Gallows haven't been on the show. I don't think anybody was even asking to see them except for the Bullet Club fans, you know, all three of them who were watching. I mean, you know, it's like no one asked for this. It's the same thing, you know. I guess this is all we need. Tyler Breeze is IC champion. You know, that's all we need. That's all we need to see, apparently. And some people, you know, have reported to me and said that there's other people here in the YWC that wanted to see that happen. They wanted to see Tyler Breeze win the IC championship. And I'm not going to name any names here, you know, because I don't know them. But, you know, one particular individual I was informed actually said that. Yeah, let's you know, let's put the title on Tyler Breeze. Let's put the tag belts on, you know, Gallows and Anderson and the Revival. You know, all these charismatic superstars. I mean, you know, that's gonna jack the ratings probably not even to an 8, but probably to a 9. I mean, because those guys are just so amazing to watch. I mean, so much charisma. You look at those guys. I mean, how could you not look at the Revival and see stars there? I mean, those are the Road Warriors, for God's sakes. I mean, they just look a little bit different, but they're the caliber of a Demolition. You know, they're like the New Age Outlaws for a new era. I mean, you know, that's how great they are, apparently. So I hear. Still looking for it, though. Don't quite see it. The Bar interferes, and Sanity comes out of nowhere and beats them all up. And I was happy to see this. Oh, they remembered that Sanity came. So I don't know where Nikki Cross is going to end up, you know. So they could put her with Sanity. That would be good since they're going to bring them back. You know, I think maybe she would be a good fit for a Drew McIntyre. I don't know how much they're going to feed into this Scottish psychopath character. Not much from what I've seen. You know, he just seems like he's just going to be a guy who beats people up, which is fine. He could just be a tough guy that has no emotions. You know, it's working from what I see, but if they want to maybe add a little bit more pep to it, pair him up with Nikki Cross. But Sandy, I mean, you know, see, that's a change right there. Letting Eric Young be on TV, cut the promos. I mean, Eric Young has a unique look, a unique voice, you know, a personality. I mean, you know, that right there, that is a star. You know, whether you want to do something with him or not is, you know, is beyond me. I don't think that they should relegate these guys to the tag division. I mean, let maybe Killian Dane and, you know, Desmond, what's the other guy's name? I want to say Desmond Wolf, but I think that was actually Nigel McGuinness's name in TNA. Whatever the guy Wolf, his name is, they should be in the tag team. Let Eric Young go for a singles title. Let him be by himself, because to keep him chained in, like, tag matches, no. He's capable of so much more. Nakamurphy gives a little presentation about Rusev, and I was kind of happy they did this. I said, finally, let's expose all these wrestlers for being goofballs on social media. If you want to be on social media, you should be held responsible for your actions. And you see Rusev dressed up as a clown. I mean, if anything, they probably should have hid this. But I'm saying I was happy for the first time in a very long time they actually showed him on Total Divas. And this guy acts like a total fucking tool. I mean, you know, first of all, he thinks he's like a comedian. You know, he thinks that, you know, he's like, you could tell by that promo, if that was scripted by him, that cringe promo, huh, you could cut my beard off and sell it to babies as sweaters. I mean, right there, you could just tell that this guy, you know, his sense of humor is just fucking whacked out. He's not funny. He's just a little strange, to be quite honest. And so Nakamurphy made fun of him, you know, it just, and rightfully so. I mean, he looked like a goof, you know, in this video presentation. I mean, if you wanted to actually bury this guy, this was the way how to do it. I mean, the heel came away looking better than the face. And not because, you know, he bested him in the ring or something like that, or maybe laid him out with a chair shot because he's a heel. No, because he actually showed video clips of Rusev just totally being completely unlikable, unfunny, and quite lame. I mean, you want to talk... This was a collection of cringe. This was like a cringe collection. It was a cringe compilation. And after what we already saw with the promo, this was just the cherry on the ice cream shit sundae. Then in the main event, and boy, oh boy, are we going to have a little rant about this. AJ Styles teams up with Mustafa Ali. It's a dream team, guys. A dream team. And they defeated Daniel Bryan and Almas. So Almas is back on T. Oh, you know, let's get all the guys that we failed to showcase and stay consistent with in an effort to make like we're trying. Okay, so like I said, Almas has a look, but they've already killed the guy. Ali gets the pin on Bryan in this match. So I thought it was a one-off appearance. He beat him last week, but apparently not. We're going to give the fans what they want. Mustafa Ali. This is what the fans want? This is what they want to see? This is going to change the landscape? Oh, yeah. Well, it definitely changed the landscape. It almost changed the shape of Daniel Bryan's fucking head when he landed a reverse 450 on him and nearly cracked his skull wide open with the knee. Did you hear that knee connecting with his head when he came down? Even the announcers went, ooh, like they couldn't help themselves. And after the match, Bryan had trouble getting up. He was in a lot of pain. You know, he left the title in the ring from some arena reports that I read. And so what I have to say is, this is what happens when you let these wrestlers do an indie style. They're not going to come away always unharmed, unscathed. You know, everyone who says, oh, this is video game violence, and that's the reason why it's bad. Well, that's only part of it. Not only are, you know, some of these things these guys do in the ring cartoonish and, you know, video game-like, and, you know, it takes away from the realism, it's fucking dangerous. Now, you know, I'll be very interested to see how many people are going to give Mustafa Ali, the Lion King, a, you know, fucking shit over this, because, you know, of course, when Nia Jax, you know, punched Becky Lynch in the face full force, you know, and gave her a concussion that kept her out for 2 months, people were all over her. Send her back to NXT. Oh my God. You know, these are the same people that stayed quiet as a mouse quiet as a little Jerry, you know, when Seth Rollins ended the career of Sting. You know, everyone stayed quiet for that. Everyone stayed hush-hush for Sasha Banks ending Paige's career. Don't want to talk about that. Oh, I wish Sasha won on Monday night. Ah! You know, never mind that Sasha Banks is already an asshole to most of the fans. When they ask to take a picture with her, she gives the resting bitch face. You know, so that's not enough. So, you know, these fans, it's just like Monday night. I was discussing this with Krillin on my comments board. You know, basically saying that these fickle fans, remember, fickle. Oh, this was fickle right here. Absolutely right. Vince McMahon getting cheered by the crowd. Yes, they wutted him and all that, but they cheered for the character of Vince McMahon. You know, but they forgot one thing. This is the very guy who's destroying the show and letting shit like this happen. He's the one who's actually giving the final approval to have Mustafa Ali in the main event, almost crushing Daniel Bryan's skull. So is the plan still on? Or is Mustafa Ali actually going to be allowed on the main roster after that performance? After ending Daniel Bryan's career, almost ending his career, I just came away looking at this like, holy shit. That knee, I thought he got another concussion right there. I thought that was it for Bryan. I was like, oh, here we go. So, you know, they're not going to be happy until they send Bryan back into retirement, because he was this close from having to come out a few weeks from now and announce his second retirement, and probably the very last and final time he would have been in the ring, period. And that's sad. All because Mustafa Ali has to do his finisher to, you know, hype up the fucking 20 smarks who actually find that move to be, you know, entertaining and impressive. You know, that's what, you know, the reverse 450. First of all, it's a really fucking stupid move, because you really can't see where you're going to land that thing. You saw that even an expert at the move, even Billy Kidman, even had trouble landing that move, smashing his knees into Paul London's skull. What was it? Yeah, it was Paul London, right? Wasn't that it? Or maybe it was Juventud Guerrera. Someone landed a 450 and they banned the move for a while. So, you know, you look at a reverse 450 and you got to say, like, man, this is just, this is ridiculous. You can't just have guys just hitting these moves, fucking like smashing people's heads almost wide open, and we're all going to be like, oh, well, this is just absolutely fine with me. I mean, yeah, this is beautiful. A guy's career almost ended. You know, but watch, you know, no one's going to say anything. You know, Mustafa Ali will be there next week, and, you know, I don't know. You know, I'm just saying, the guy gets up on the top rope, almost smashes the WWE's champion's head wide open, and everyone just seems just all fine and dandy with that. You know, but when Nia Jax does it, oh my God, we got to rally and make WWE want to send her back to developmental, you know, fire Nia Jax and all this business. So, you know, there's the fans for you. There's the Dave Meltzer fart sniffers, as I like to call them. So, guys, there's your SmackDown review. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. If you didn't, hit a thumbs down and tell me why. Click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. Check out some of the content I have posted here. And thank you for watching, guys. This has been your YWC champ, and I'm signing out.